So what's going on, guys? It's your boy ATFCOBRA. Today, wanted to talk to you guys about, as you guys can tell by the title, of course, Bad Company 3. And this is Bad Company 2 gameplay. And I've been playing this game for a little bit, trying to get good at it. What's surprising to me, before I even start the whole video on the topic and everything, was that I was not doing good in this game at all when I first started playing. And it wasn't because I was playing this like it was Battlefield 3. I already know this is a lot more tactical than Battlefield 3, but I just wasn't doing good at all, and it took me a while to kind of get used to this game and the pace that you have to play it at. But nonetheless, Bad Company 3, and about a year ago, May 16, 2012, a DICE developer said that Bad Company 3 is under development, according to an employee resume link in the description below. Basically, Michael Joseph C. has listed a link between 2009 2011, and they've been working on Bad Company 3 for quite some time. It's still under development, and while this is in development, Battlefield 4, is soon to release this year. Now, I'm guessing and predicting that around the launch of Bad Company 4, or at the release, or after the release, I'm expecting to be kind of a pre-order bonus or something like that for Bad Company 3. And the reason for this is because this is right around the time that Bad Company 3 probably should be released, because it's about what, 3, maybe 4 years into after Bad Company 2. And it's about the time for this game to come out. Now, as far as Bad Company 2, I didn't play too much of this game. I'm just now starting to get into it. I remember I did play it for Xbox, and when it first came out, it was surprisingly difficult. All games were surprisingly long. They were just really long and strenuous, even though I wanted, sometimes a 15 to 20 minute playtime. Sometimes I'd have to play for a good half hour, an hour, staying a couple rounds and stuff like that. But nonetheless, this game is fun. It's very rewarding, after each kill, after you progress, through MCOMs, I'm not saying that Battlefield 3 is not, but it just feels a lot more rewarding because it's got a little bit more of a tactical pace, and it feels like you can die a lot faster in this than you can in Battlefield 3. And the reason for that is movement speed. It's not as fluid as Battlefield 3, which doesn't mean a bad thing. It feels like when you're running in that direction, you kind of have to turn. You can't really, kind of straight back and forth while you're running, so it feels a little bit different. And that makes it a little bit, harder to, kind of run around the map endlessly like an idiot. It makes you, kind of pick and choose where you need to go in the map, and this is very helpful, for new players, because it doesn't put them at a disadvantage where, veteran players are rushing around the maps and completely dominating them. Because if you do that, more than likely you're gonna get killed over and over again, which happens to me a lot of times. So how is this gonna play for Bad Company 3? Is DICE gonna go in the same route and kind of move or bump up the movement speed and kind of change a couple of things, or are they gonna keep it simple like Bad Company 2 and keep it a little bit more tactical, and keep it just the way it is and just change a lot of things such as graphics? The engine could beef it up a little bit and change a couple things. I kind of like the improvements that Battlefield 3 has in it right now, and I wish and hope that Bad Company 3 will implement these changes. Now, to say is Bad Company 2 fun? Hell yes. At first, I kind of struggled in it, and a lot of the games were half hour long minimum. And I even tried to find servers that were a little bit shorter, or with lower tickets, but it still felt I was playing for a good beefy 45 minutes sometimes. But all in all, this was pretty good because it helps you build a better, this game has a steep learning curve, so it helps you build around that learning curve by playing constantly. And one of the things that I think really helps players is just by staying alive and helping your team, and don't focus on kills, because it's not what this game is about. It's about playing the damn objective. If any games is about playing at any objectives, it's really Bad Company 2, because it's really not about kills. Kills don't come that often. You don't go into rampages and multi-kills and stuff like that, because the maps are so large, and to get from one place to the other, fairly quickly, you're gonna need vehicles, and even tanks are slow. So your probably best bet is the ATV or something like that, and and boats help you get to on most maps with water they help you get from one place to the other. But this is pretty fun. This game is pretty damn fun, and it being this old, you know, almost 4 years old, or 3 or 4 years old, it's still a very fun game to play now. And it's crazy the amount of players that are still on it, you know, because when I went on, I seen a lot of people on, and a lot of players that you know, were max rank, and I was kind of tempted to play at first. I'm like, Battlefield 3 is kind of, you know, the same as Bad Company 2, so might as well play like it. And I got smacked in the face a bunch of times. But nonetheless, Bad Company 3, there hasn't been any information. DICE hasn't said anything about it. And the reason for that is because they're trying. I think they're really, what they're working on is just gathering ideas of what they want their next game to be. Because when you put out you know, content like this, when you put out games like this, it takes millions of dollars. It takes, you know, lots of resources. You know, lots of money goes into these games, if you guys don't already know, you know, and we should be paying a lot more for these games, but I'm glad that we're not. But you know, for their new game, they want to make sure that it has an ideal, it has a title to it, you know, it has a reason for you to pick it up, not because of the title's name, not because it's Bad Company 3. And that's what I'm excited for. You know, I don't care if they don't release any information until, you know, probably when the game's almost released. All I want is just a refined, refreshing game, you know, with little to no bugs. You know, I know you can't have a game with no bugs in it at all, but just something that I can play and you know, kind of, you know, be reliable while playing it. You know, not have to worry about this being broken or that being broken. Not to say that the current games that we're playing right now, such as Battlefield 3, are completely broken. Battlefield 3, I don't think is broken at all. You know, it's just some minor bugs and glitches and hackers that are starting to reveal their heads. But yeah, I think what I want for Battlefield Bad Company 3 is something just like this. You know, just so this game is so tactical. Like I felt like I was in a different game. You know, I was switching from Battlefield 3 to Bad Company 2, and I was like, damn, is this even a DICE game? I'm like, it just felt so crazy because you can't play it at all the same way that you play, you know, each game, because they're not the same. Like here, me rushing this, I was taking a risk right here, you know, just rushing around the corner. That guy could have probably killed me easily if I didn't strafe around him. But that's probably your best bet, you know, also when you're going into gunfights. If you guys are thinking of picking up this game, you definitely should. It was on sale for like 10 bucks. That's why I picked it up and started playing it. But your best bet when you get into gun battles is if your enemy's within 5 to 10 feet of you, don't bother aiming down sights. Just hit fire and, you know, try to aim down sights at the same time. But that's what I learned. You know, if you're new to it, if you're playing Battlefield 3 and you want to make the changes a little bit, Battlefield 3 is not gonna. No, Bad Company 2 is not gonna be Battlefield 3 at all. It's a lot harder. And it takes a while to kind of get used to things, you know, and also when you're viewing your enemies, it's like your enemies kind of don't pop out as much. They just, you know, you kind of have to pick them out, you know, and it's your awareness, you know, has to be really up there, because if not, you're gonna get killed a lot of times, you know, out of nowhere. You'll see yourself, you know, die, and a lot of these games, they had custom servers where you could kind of take out, you know, kill cam, and a lot of these games I was playing, kill cam wasn't in it. But it was definitely fun, and one of the things that kept me playing it, even though it was very frustrating, was that it was just rewarding, you know, just to complete any action, to, you know, help out a teammate, to revive a teammate, to, you know, kill somebody, to capture a flag. It all felt rewarding, you know, because you kind of put your time and effort into doing everything, and I didn't feel like it was, you know, things were being rushed or you were rushing into anything, which was kind of crazy because this game is so old. But that's how it goes to show you that, you know, some games that are already out there are still just as fun as the games that are, you know, kind of being put out now. So definitely check this game out if you guys haven't. I don't know if it's still on sale now, but it's definitely a fun one. Battlefield Bad Company 2, but Battlefield Bad Company 3, I think they might keep it the same, or they might change a couple things and make it a little bit more like Battlefield 3 because of Battlefield 3's success. But at the same time, and I just hope they make a great game. Thanks for watching, guys, and if you did enjoy, be sure to leave a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.